Hi, hello everyone. Welcome to another session. So today we are going to see about the Great Indian Bust. Okay, Bustard. So this Great Indian Bustard, why it is in the news is recently the Supreme Court modification to its order directing that all the transmission cables should go underground. So center opposed it, and even to the Rajasthan government, Supreme Court gave the directions to consider in 2020 to consider all the cables, all the all the transmission cables should be going underground. So this is about the news. But what is this? Already the question has been asked in the prelims 2020. But we will see what is this great Indian burst about. See, it is a state bird of Rajasthan. State bird of Rajasthan. Right? State bird of Rajasthan. And this is called as a flagship grassland species. Flagship. Flagship grassland species. These are. What do you mean by this? This indicates the health of the grassland. This will tell about the health of grassland. About the grassland. Okay. So, according to the latest report, also see that population assessment, the largest population of Great Indian Burst is in the Thar area of the Rajasthan. And this desert, there is a desert called as a Desert National Park. Sorry, there's a national park called as a Desert National Park, which is extended from Jaisalmer to Jodhpur, is a home for most of these birds. And 5 breeding sites have left now. National conservation, there is a program. We'll see about that. Okay, there is a program. Now, population distribution, where this is mostly distributed. Where this is mostly distributed. And also, almost 90% of the population has declined in the last 50 years. 90% of the population has declined in the last 50 years. So, where is the population? So, most of they are populated in Gujarat area, Rajasthan area, and even in Maharashtra, then Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh combinedly. So, some part in Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, etc. So, this is Great Indian Burst. Okay. This is a picture of the Great Indian Burst. Now, what are the threats? See here, you can see the birds, the Great Indian Birds was proposed as a candidate of the National Bird of India and was also under consideration. That is one. The bird is hunted for the meat in Pakistan. So what are the major threats you see? And also, in the year 2011 only, the species was enlisted in the critically endangered list. So protection status, if I talk about the protection status here, see, protection status of this, the first is under the IUCN, International Union for Conservation of Nature. That is one. It is under the critically endangered species. Critically endangered species. Number one. Second, under the sites, it is Appendix 1. Then conservation of migratory species also, it is the same thing. And wildlife protection, under the Wildlife Protection Act 1972, it is under the Schedule 1 list, which is highly protected under the Wildlife Protection Act. Okay, but what are the major threats for this bird? See, major threats for this bird is your pollution with the electric wires. That's why the Supreme Court has given a directions to the governments that to consider all the transmission lines on underground. So they collide with them. This is the largest bird we have seen in India. This collides with, this is they collide with among the heaviest bird that can fly. You can see the JIB. This bird is the heaviest bird that can fly. 3.3 feet tall, 18 kgs. Right. So the first is the collision of electric wires, collision with the electric wires. Number one, right? Power transmission lines, collision with the power transmission lines, etc. Second is they are hunted in Pakistan. They are hunting for the meat in Pakistan. Okay. And also third is your renewable projects are also, renewable energy is also one of the, see, it is written here, renewable, thread to the words renewable energy also, and annual and perennial non-timber crops, extension of agriculture. Okay, I can write agricultural expansion. Agricultural expansion is also a threat to this bird. Then transportation and power lines, human intrusions and disturbances, invasion and other problematic species, genes and diseases. These are also the problems. Okay, see where they are also found, restricted to pockets in Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh also we have seen, Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, Rajasthan. So these are the areas where it has been seen, right? So habitat loss, hunting. Okay, fourth, habitat loss also is one of the things. So annual and perennial non-timber projects, crops, sorry, renewable energies are also lost, one of the causes. Then transportation, power lines, human intrusions and disturbances, invasive alien species, invasive and other problematic species which can create genes and diseases that are also a threat to this bird. Then what are the steps that are being taken for this bird? What are the steps that are being taken? What are the conservative steps that are being taken here? See, measures that are being taken. And also, if you see, 2011 only this bird entered into the critically endangered list. Why? Because 90% of the population has been declined. Population has declined. In 2014, government started a project called as Project Great Indian Burst, Rajasthan government. In 2016, Center prepares a report to impact of transmission lines. 2019, Environment Minister reports GIB is nearly extincting formally recognized collision with the power lines as chief. So 20, Supreme Court tells for considering the underground cables for transmission of wires. So what are the measures that has been taken? Measures. The first measure is special recovery program. Special recovery program. Number one. So under this special recovery program, integrated development of wildlife habitat. This is integrated development of wildlife habitat. By Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Okay, so this is one. So this is your special recovery program. Second is your national Bustard recovery plan. This is also second measure. Third measure is conservation breeding facility. Conservation breeding facilities. So this is taken by the Ministry of Environment, Forest, Climate Change. Wildlife Institute India, WIA, and also your Rajasthan government. So under this, there is a breeding facility, captive breeding, like we have seen Jatayu, captive breeding, Jatayu, Pinjore for vulture. Like that, there is a breeding facilities, captive breeding facility. There is a captive breeding facility, captive breeding facility in Desert National Park. In the Desert National Park, Jaisalmer, build captive. So what they do, the objective is build captive population of GIB and then release the chicks into the wild for increasing population. So that is another thing. Then also the fourth one is a project Great Indian Burst by Rajasthan government. The main aim is constructing breeding enclosures. Okay. Then other is eco-friendly measures. Eco-friendly measures. So task for suggesting eco-friendly measures. There is a task force established for suggesting eco-friendly measures. So these are the measures that have been taken for the Great Indian Burst. Okay. So already the Desert National Park question has been asked, but they can ask you the other things which is critically endangered. Okay. What are the threats, habitat laws? They can ask you in the prelims. Then hunting, annual perennial non-timber crops, renewable energy, transportation lines, then human intrusions and disturbances. Where are they situated? Okay. So these are the things that the questions can be asked. Okay. Thank you. We will continue with this prelims environment ecology series. Okay. Thank you so much.